The first step to achieving political power is ethnic association. During the 19th and early 20th century, the Irish were the dominant ethnic group in the 19th Ward in Chicago's near west side. Beginning in 1888 and for the next 40 years, Democrat Johnny Powers represented the Taylor Street area. He was a masterful politician called the Prince of the Boodlers and leader of a corrupt group of aldermen known as the Grey Wolves. Mr. Powers was able to keep his office despite the area being overrun by Italians starting around 1910 by mastering the second step of political power, his ability to deliver work to his constituents. It was said that 1 out of every 3 men in Powers' ward owed his job to him. It became known as the Bloody 19th because of a violent political power struggle called the Alderman's War. This lasted from 1916 to 1921. It was a real battle fought with riots, kidnapping, bombings, and murder. His violent campaign claimed more than 30 lives, with many of the intended victims' names posted on the death tree that used to be in front of 725 South Loomis. Powers' opponent in this common-hued conflict was Italian Antonio D'Andrea. Mr. Andrea was a defrocked priest turned gangster who once served time for counterfeiting dimes. He received his education in the ways of Chicago power as a bone breaker for Big Jim Colosimo, boss of the nearby Levee District. Colosimo had organized the Italians there and used that power base to replace the Irish gangsters that had controlled the city's vice. After getting out of prison, D'Andrea, to all appearances, went legit, becoming a translator, business owner, an activist for the Italian community, and labor leader. Then in 1914 he decided to enter politics. His first race was an unsuccessful one for county commissioner. The trouble didn't start until 1916 when he ran for one of 2 of the ward's aldermanic posts. D'Andrea wasn't running against Powers. He was opposing his ally James Bowler. This was the election that touched off the war. In all, D'Andrea would run in 3 races without winning one. In a couple of elections he initially got more votes, but legal chicanery changed the results. Even becoming head of the Union Siciliana, the chief social and political organization for Sicilians in Chicago, couldn't put him over the hump. In 1921, the conflict came to the head when D'Andrea ran against Powers for his aldermanic seat. This resulted in the bloodiest race in Chicago's history, a campaign waged with assassinations, voter intimidation, and explosions, including the bombing of Powers' home. Johnny Powell ended up with a razor-thin margin of 381 votes. Following the election, D'Andrea announced he was dropping out of politics. It was a decision he maybe waited one election too long to make, because now he feared for his life. On the night of May 10th, 1921, D'Andrea was returned home from a night out with the ward committeeman Diamond Joe Esposito, the man considered by many to be one of Chicago's most powerful individuals. As Antonio climbed the stairs to his home on South Ashland Avenue, he was ambushed and executed with a sawed-off shotgun, another of the city's unsolved murders. Denied a church burial because he had been excommunicated, they held the service right in front of the house with more than 8,000 people in attendance. In the end, John Powers won the Alderman's War, but it was a hollow victory. The advent of Prohibition would help create a more powerful force that would engulf this community. Stay tuned for our next segment for that story.